So it's officially spooky season and it is October, so I wanted to like go out of the realm of manhwas that I usually read because I usually read like slice of life and drama, but today we're going to be reviewing a psychological manhwa. Every time I look up recommendations for psychological yaoi manhwas, I'm always seeing this name. I'm not really into this type of stuff. I stopped after I read Pilling Palking and that traumatized me. So yeah, we're doing something a little different for this little spooky month. This is not like spooky, but it's just something that makes you think it's something different. The name of this man was called A Room Without Windows. I did a poll of this on my community post and everybody voted for this one, so here we go. Okay, now I have to lock in because this is going to be a lot to take in. Warning, this manhwa does have mature themes such as smeks and it has red things and scenes. And like I said, it's psychological. It's not going to be cutesy. It has trauma and stuff in it. So if this is not your type of manhwa, click off, babes, because it gets a little crazy in here. With the renames for these characters, there's only going to be two. One's going to be called No Leg, and one's going to be called Creepy. Okay, so the story starts with No Legs waking up in a bed. He gives us a little introduction of himself. He tells us his name. He tells us his age. He talks about how he was out last night with his friends and then he got grabbed, but then he doesn't remember what happened after that. And then he starts wondering to himself, where the heck is he? Like, he doesn't know where he's at. And then he looks down and he sees he has a whole leg missing. Like, underneath the kneecap is gone. So he's just like analyzing the room, looking around to like gather information. Where's he at? And to his surprise, there's no clocks, there's no windows, so he doesn't know what time it is. He doesn't know if it's day or night. The room only consists of a bed, a sofa, and a toilet. So if you dookie and it stink and you go sit down and try to go to sleep, that dookie is coming on you on the bed. So while No Legs is looking around trying to figure out where he's at, he's interrupted when the door opens behind him and Creepy walks in and he's like talking to No Legs in a familiar tone. He's like saying, "Let's eat together. Do you feel better?" And he's saying all this with a smile on his face, which is kind of like creepy because imagine you wake up, somebody just busts in your room and says, "Let's eat together," and you don't have a leg. So yeah, Creepy continues to talk to No Legs and he's asking him questions like, is he angry? He's even saying No Legs' name. Like, how do you know his name? And this like causes No Legs to get mad. Like, of course he's angry. And I forgot to say, but Creepy came in the room with a plate of food for No Legs to eat. But since No Legs is so mad that he keeps trying to be friendly with him, he literally throws the plate of food. And then No Legs starts asking questions like, why are you here? What do you want from me? Like, do you want to talk? Like, what's going on? I don't understand why I'm here. And Creepy's like, yes, I want to talk, with blush on his face, smiling like, yes, I want to talk. Like, but seeing Creepy blush and get all excited just angers No Legs even more because this is really getting creepy now. So No Legs tries to use the fork that he was given to eat with to try to stab Creepy, but Creepy just pins No Legs down to the bed. And then he apologizes for something that happened 2 days ago. He says like, I'm sorry for what happened 2 days ago. Creepy says he planned to bring No Legs back from the hospital, but there were more people chasing him than expected. Like, what the hell is going on here? And then Creepy asks for forgiveness from No Legs. Then Creepy tries to leave the room, but No Legs grabs onto Creepy and asks him again, what do you want from me? Like, why am I here? Like, please let me go. And Creepy says, I just want to chat with you. And when you get better, I want to play football with you. I want to eat together with you. I want to play games together with you. And then Creepy goes all the way back to the bed with No Legs and says that his wish is for them to be together forever together. And then Creepy lays his head on No Legs' shoulder and says, can I sleep with you today? And No Legs, rightfully so, pushes him off the bed and yells at him saying things like, why would I want to sleep with you? I don't like you. I don't want to be your friend, nor do I need the things that you're trying to bring to me and give me. He says it's disgusting how he wants him to pretend to be his friend and even his hair gives him nausea. And then No Legs like puts the cover over his head and then like hides under the covers. No Legs is like, I'm going crazy in here, and then he starts thinking about his past. He says he almost forgot just about everything besides useless things, but one thing he knows for sure is that Creepy was definitely the one to take his leg. And then they cut to a scene where the door is open. They show No Legs getting up from the bed, but he actually has both legs. And as he's running to the door, he falls and stumbles. And then when he looks down, he only has one leg again. And then Creepy comes up from behind him and starts touching him. Creepy starts saying things like he likes No Legs' legs, but he at least wanted to keep one leg on him. Then Creepy starts licking No Legs' one leg that he has and then bites it. But then he wakes up. It's a dream. He wakes up crying, but this traumatic dream caused him to actually remember something. And what we see in the little click flashback of what he remembers, it's somebody on the floor and then there's somebody biting somebody. So later when Creepy comes to give No Legs his food, No Legs is thinking about all the ways he can escape. Luckily, Creepy does have pins in his hair and No Legs knows that Creepy has a crush on him by the way he's acting. So his plan is trying to like seduce Creepy and then taking the pin so he can escape. Creepy low-key kind of like gives us a little bit of lore on his part. He talks about how his mom and dad used to be in these confined rooms too, but then when they left the rooms and went out to like the real world, they're gone. Like, so he's basically trying to give him like a little warning not to leave. But No Legs does not care about his little sob story. He's still thinking about ways that he can get out and use him. So he does what he can do and he offers him his body. And Creepy accepts this. They show like a little glimpse of No Legs' past, and this is not the first time No Legs has given up his body. So this is like nothing new, nothing different to him. And I can't get too detailed on what they did, but they actually ended up doing it. And No Legs actually did succeed in getting the hairpins from Creepy. And after they're done doing it, Creepy actually does notice that No Legs did take the hairpins from his hair. So he's like, if you wanted the hairpins, why didn't you just say something like I would have gave it to you? And then he's literally like, do you want the rest of the hairpins? And since No Legs is saying that Creepy's being nice and like actually trying to do stuff for him, he's like, so why can't I just go outside? Can I please go outside? Creepy says no. No Legs asks, okay, well, can I at least have my phone? Creepy says, no, we don't have that anymore. No Legs complains that he literally cannot do nothing anymore. Like, it's boring. I don't have anything to do. And Creepy's like, I'm sorry about that. There's not much he can do about that either. And in the meanwhile, Creepy's like, well, do you want anything to eat? I can go get you something to eat. No Leg says he wants a sweet treat, so that's exactly what Creepy goes to go get. As soon as Creepy leaves the room, No Legs tries to go get up and he goes to the door with the hairpin and he tries to unlock the door. And he's like low-key kind of succeeding, so then he's wondering, how do I know how to do this? How do I know how to break into doors with hairpins? And then we get like another flashback of his old life of him with a group of boys, and they're all like very scared and they're saying like, oh man, please hurry up and open the door. They're right behind us. They're going to get us. And then somebody says they already caught it behind us. We have to run. It's over with. And then the little memory ends with a big scream. So yeah, we're getting little bits and pieces of Old Leg's life of what happened and what's the real truth behind this. And No Leg manages to open the door. So No Leg starts looking around the establishment and he sees an elevator that says B6. And when he gets into the elevator, he notices the elevator isn't going up, but it's going down. And then No Leg starts wondering, like, is this a military building? Is this a government building? And when he hits the bottom floor and the elevator doors open, he does see an exit. So you already know what he does. He runs towards the exit. Who wouldn't want to leave if they're being literally kept up in a room with no windows or no, like, nothing? But meanwhile, his inner thoughts are, like, telling him and screaming to him, like, to go back in. Like, this is not safe. Don't go outside. And when the door opens, he runs out the door. He starts screaming for help. Help, help. Can anybody help me? Please call the police. And he sees a shadow in the far distance. So he goes up to the shadow and is like, please help me, sir. Like, I need help. And then the shadow starts reaching towards No Legs. But the shadow of what No Legs sees is not a person, it's a zombie. And then as the zombie's trying to get him, he soon remembers everything, every single thing that happened and how he got here. So yeah, that's crazy. But now we're going to break down what actually happened and how he got here. So basically, one night when No Legs was walking around with his friends roaming the streets of Seoul, they went inside a convenience store to go get some beer, and No Legs was trying to go get some snacks. In the near distance, you could see some girls looking at their phone, listening to something, and their phone was basically saying that an incident outbroken and spreading throughout the nation. But No Legs and his friends were not paying attention when I guess everybody was talking about this and playing all this audio out loud about it. And literally, as soon as they left the convenience store, somebody grabs No Legs and No Legs is like, what the F, who the fuck are you? But when he turns around, it's a zombie. And that's literally, he said that was the day the human race was dragged down. And then they do a time skip to 9 years later. Him and his group of friends were like hiking up this mountain and it's like very snowy, very cold. And they find this shelter and one of No Legs' legs, I think it has frostbite, but it's like purple and he says he cannot feel it. So his friends are like, you're like a liability. Like, we don't know if we can have you around. They're like, the only reason why we kept you around in the first place is because you know how to pick locks. So that's why No Legs knew how to pick that door lock. So No Leg like storms out and is like, okay, bye, I'm leaving. And I guess the group gets mad because one of the people from the group like attack No Legs, like try to get him with a hammer. But then a blicky goes off, like boom, 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 bam, bam, bam. And it literally takes out the whole friend group besides No Leg and this girl. And guess who had the blicky? Creepy. So Creepy comes from around a tree and reveals himself as like, I'm the person that just took out all these people that were like trying to get you. So No Legs asks Creepy for his name and No Legs like still kind of hurt. So Creepy puts No Leg on his back and is like, don't worry, I'll protect you. I have a safe place that we can go. It has no time. It has no windows. Yeah, do you see where this is headed? And the story switches over to Creepy's point of view and basically how his life was before all this went down. So when Creepy was younger, his parents actually told him that when Judgment Day comes, the ground above will be hell and the ground below will be heaven. So basically they built a bunker underground with everything that they will need to survive. They have water purification, power generators, medical facilities, and an aquarium for fish to eat, as well as the freaking plants. So one day, Creepy's dad went to go get their grandma, and his dad literally never came back, so it was just him and the mom. So a couple years passed, a little bit more, and the mom is teaching Creepy how to survive. She teaches him how to do medical stuff because his mom is a doctor. So she teaches him how to cut, how to stitch, and how to sterilize. And after she taught him everything, she was like, with that, I won't have to worry. And then she went above ground, and she is gone too. So now it's just Creepy by himself, alone. And he's a kid too, by the way. So Creepy talks about before the world ended and all the zombies came that his parents made him train. So he was already all good with that. And after 9 years of being underground by himself, it wasn't difficult for him anymore. And sometimes he would even go above ground to go look for cool branches because he know like nobody would take him out because he's so trained and he has all these skills and has all the things he needs to survive underground. But slowly as he started getting more and more older, it started getting more weirder and weirder and lonelier for him. He started having these weird thoughts about doing stuff to himself until one day he was up on a mountain when it was snowing and he saw Nolik for the first time getting attacked by his friends. And yeah, seeing Nolik get attacked by his friends made him fall in love with Nolik. Like it was like love at first sight. And they show Creepy's point of view, how he like rescued Nolik. When they first got to the underground base, the first thing he had to do was obviously remove Nolik's leg because it was infected and he didn't want it to spread. But it seemed like Nolik was more sad about his friends betraying him than actually losing a leg. And over time, Creepy started to notice that Nolik was like hurting himself. And obviously he wasn't good mentally. And I guess over time, all this like trauma and all this stuff caused him to lose his memories for the 9 years. And Creepy didn't want to tell him what happened. He wanted him to figure out on himself and let the memories come back by himself. Even with Nolik having no memories of Creepy still thought he was so cute and small and cute and cool. And at the end of the story, Creepy talks about how he doesn't care how long it's gonna take. He will wait years. He already waited 9 years. He will wait more for No Leg to remember him so they can get back to living life. Because they're the only people down there in the bunkers. And they said that bunker could last 80 years for 2 people. So, and that's how the story ends. Now there are side stories, but I only wanted to talk about the main stories. If you want to check out this story, please feel free to because this is one of my favorite psychological yaois that I've read. I only read like 4 and only like 2, and this is going on the list. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. I love this down. At first it was like weird. I'm like, this is giving toxic red flag, but like this is low-key cute. Like he's waiting for his man. Anyways, y'all, I'll see you next video.